the perspective with which you are interpreting what you're doing. Because most of the time, what you call a sacrifice, somebody else will call a compromise.
Definitely.
What you say, I will never do, I can never do that, somebody else will be willing to do it with ease. And what you say, I can never do at one stage, you are ready to do at another stage.
Welcome to Moga Class channel. Hi everyone. If you are passionate about growing your business, starting up a business, maybe you are stuck at a certain point of your business, then you've just found your new favorite spot on YouTube. Thank you. Let's go. Let's dive in. Let's go
compromise
together.
versus sacrifice. And we've asked a series of questions. What is that one thing you can never compromise in your relationship? Or better still, what is that one thing you have sacrificed for your partner that, as you reason, I may shock you? Looking back in retrospect, you're like, did I actually do that for my partner? Or is this something you did that you are actually very proud of? These are the questions on the show today, and we would definitely love to hear from you. But before I went on the break, I told you that we have a guest on the show today, and I cannot wait to introduce him. Our guest is popularly known as the Common Sense Guru. Come on. The thought of that, you already know that people are about to receive a dose of common sense. Are we up for this? All right. He is known as the Common Sense Guru, and he is no doubt one of the world's leading relationship experts, motivational speakers, and wealth creation agents with over 3 decades of transforming lives. His influence spreads across the religious and secular arena, and he is an apostle in the marketplace. With an executive master's degree in business administration from the University of Huddersfield in the UK, and as a real estate executive certificate with a special focus on capital markets, project finance, and business strategy from the prestigious Harvard Business School in the United States, and a doctorate in entrepreneurial leadership. He is a leading voice for personal, corporate, and national transformation. He has written over 100 books, and he is a best-selling author of over 50 books, a media personality, the global president of the Billionaires Conclave, and the CEO of the Common Sense Group with 9 subsidiaries and a global footprint. No one encounters him and stays the same. He is happily married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give it up for Mr. Olumide Emmanuel. Woo! He's giving us the drum rolls. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thanks for having me. Finally, it has happened.
It has happened, and we are so honored to be graced by your presence.
It's always a privilege to be able to share whatever we can with our world. So
yes, a lot of people gotta learn. There's a lot of information that needs to go out there. So we're talking compromise versus sacrifice. Sir, can you please, let our esteemed audience know what the difference is?
Well, I don't know whether there is a difference. It depends on the perspective you're looking at it from, because when it comes to relationship, relationship is very, very complex. And there is no way you can ever succeed in any relationship without making sacrifices.
Fact.
And most of the sacrifices means that you are compromising something.
Definitely.
So for me, it's the same thing. It's all a function of who you are, the stage in which you are in, the perspective with which you are interpreting what you're doing. Because most of the time, what you call a sacrifice, somebody else will call a compromise.
Definitely.
What you say, I will never do, I can never do that, somebody else will be willing to do it with ease. And what you say, I can never do at one stage, you are ready to do at another stage. And you look back and say, I wish I did it then. So I know a lot of people that now, they begin to look that, I wish I didn't make that decision. I wish I made that compromise, because most of the time, that's what relationships all about.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, maybe lessons are being learned.
Love, I think there are a few things we would need to have the right definition of in order to be able to interpret some of this. What's the definition of love? What's the definition of marriage? What's the definition of sacrifice and compromise? Those will matter, because, you see, love is not a feeling.
Fact.
Love is a choice.
Yes.
Now, feelings come, feelings go. But love is choosing to accept someone. And when you're in a relationship with someone, you need to understand that you are in a relationship with their past, their present, and their future. And now, some of the past,
very ugly.
The present, you are knowing. The future, you don't know.
You don't even know.
Some of the past may show up. So what you say you will never compromise may have actually happened in their past.
Yeah.
And it shows up in your face.
Okay,
so what do you do at that point?
For some people that, a lot of people don't have this understanding of love. They just feel it's that mushy feeling, butterflies in my butterflies and all of that story, right? So can you break it down? Because in as much as love is a choice, is a commitment, you still have to feel some certain way for your partner. You can't just see a stranger and say, I choose to love you. As Christ expects us to love everyone, we can choose to love everyone. But when it comes to, a life partner, shouldn't there be some sort of feeling?
Okay, so let's break
involved?
it down. I don't know how long we have because you started bringing in Christ. You are waking up the prophets. So there are four. You see, the word love comes from 4 different root words.
Okay, sir.
And these 4 different root words helps us to understand what love is. So number 1, we have what we call the agape love, which is agape. And that's God's kind of love. It's a love that is born out of the nature of God in us. And that love is a love that does not need anything from you.
True.
So whether you are good or bad, that love just flows. It's agape. And then the next one that we have is filial or filial, from where we get the word familiar. And that's a love that is based on friendship and reciprocity. So I love you because you love me. You call me, I call. If you don't call me, I stop calling you.
I mind my business.
So that. And then the next one we have is storge. That is blood love. Family, mother, cousin, uncle, nephew. So that's storge. And then where we have the feeling is eros, from where we get the word erotica. Now, so that's the love that is based on passion, on sensuality. But that's not something that lasts. That's so if you build your relationship on that, then it will not last. It's a sand.
It's a faulty foundation.
It's not a rock, it's a sand. And so when you see a lot of others people that they never see life. But because when you think love is blind, marriage will open your eyes. So most of those mushy, by the time house rents come, school fees comes, and life happens, you will realize that all those mushy things, those are not the real things you build your relationship on. There are a lot of I put out a tweet a while ago that became an issue, and it's the fact that we have a lot of sexless marriages today.
Very true.
You are trying to get the singles away from sex. Premarital sex is an epidemic. They are using all kinds of stuff. And then for the married people, you are trying to get them to have sex. Because you see, your wife is naked, you are not having an erection because you are thinking of band-aid bill, you are thinking of diesel. It's not nakedness you are looking at. Why? Because life has happened. You are now practicing. So most of those things, you may need, errors to keep you going.
But it's not it's not all that matters.
It's not all that matters. So of course you will feel good about the person. Definitely. You have to have some affection for the person. Yes. But of course that's not what keeps you. At the end of the day, it's not what sustains. And one of the things I try to do is to help people see reality. Now, you love your parents, you love your mother, you love your father. Do you have eros with them? No.
Never.
You love your children. Do you have eros with them? But your love is forever. So that's the same way you need to understand love. When you start looking at it from that eros angle, you're going to shortchange yourself because that's why you say a lot of people, I don't love him anymore. When they say I don't love him anymore, is I don't feel I don't have that feeling. So then I say I'm looking for somebody else, and then you go to the next person.
Our feelings are very fickle.
You have that temporary high, and then it's normal. It's looking exceptional because you have not been there. Once you get there, it becomes normal next. And when you develop that kind of appetite for newness, then you enter promiscuity and you enter into bondage.
Fact.
And that's the way it works.
That's it. Thank you for breaking it down, sir. That was so beautiful. So my next question is, what is the greatest thing you've ever sacrificed for love? What is that one thing that you look back and even if it's something that happened recently, the greatest sacrifice that you have ever made? I
think for me, it's been more finances and opportunities. Yeah, it's been more because I have for my family, we have what we call family values. Okay. So we have things we do, and so the major one is the fact that, for instance, in our family, we mark birthdays. Yeah. Every year, and we celebrate birthdays every 5 years. And because we mark birthdays every year, so birthdays, wedding anniversary, it's in my diary, sacrosanct. I can't go anywhere. We have to be together. And because of the kind of job that I do, sometimes you have breakthrough opportunity. And it is that time. So you are looking at 10 million naira. You are looking at one day. You are like, but you just say, okay, well, so sometime, you know, I think in the earlier parts, you're like, wow. But now, my wife will say, no, go. I'm the one that said, no, I'm not going. Won't go. Because once you start, that's where it starts. Continues. So I just keep at it. I keep at like this last time now. My son's birthday was on the 1st of April. Okay. And I had to leave the US. I completed a major event where I was supposed to now go and rest. And I was in 3 countries, 16 cities. But I had to leave the US to arrive in the UK to meet with them. So I was like, you fly to the UK, I can't make it to Nigeria. So I had to do that. And now think of the money of the ticket for everybody for just to go and be together. Then at the end of the day, you're like, boy, it's part of it. And it's easy to say, never mind, when the boy was to be born, I lost 129,000 pounds.
What? Because you had to be present.
I paid people for an event. I had to get, and I could not be there because I had to be with the go to. Wow. So by the time you look at some of those, you're like,
for family.
For instance, now in the last 3 days, we've been trying to get tickets for the summer holiday. Do you know how much business class ticket is now? The cheapest you can get is 8 million.
Yes.
So by the time you're talking, so I was telling him, I said, this travel alone. By the time you say you want to go now, you're spending so I said, you know that this money is a whole house.
Yes. It's a whole estate.
You have a whole house for the 100 years. You are a landlord. True. That's what you. So those are the sacrifices. So for me, it's more of that because every other thing based on the value that I live by. But it's more of having to let go of opportunities, open doors. You know, because for people like us, our calendar is
very booked.
You know, when somebody is booking this one and 3 other people come, even if this one is paying you 1 million and this one is paying you 10 million, integrity. Once it's like, you stay for 1 million. You stay. Most of the time, the 1 million will now cancel. Kai! You now begin to say, Kai!
I did been I know.
But you can't. So
you can't.
Those are some of the things. So for me, it's been more of that sacrifice of opportunities and finances.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So now that we're talking, compromise, because we've been asking a lot of questions online and right here on air. What is that one thing ladies should never, both ladies and ladies and men as well, in relationships and in marriage? Because a lot of people get into relationships and they lower their standards just because they're trying to get validation from their partner. So what is that one thing? I mean, because it's not a one size fits all, to be honest. But generally speaking, what are the things that you think that ladies and men should never compromise on when it comes to
think it depends on the values you live by.
True.
And what matters to you. So because we say to people, there are different kinds of relationship.
Yeah.
We have traditional relationships.
Yeah.
We have contemporary relationships. And then we have kingdom relationships. So if you are a traditional person, there are things that people hold on to, that is their culture, their tradition, that may not be acceptable in the kingdom. It may not be acceptable in the contemporary world, but that's what they believe. So if you look at Nigeria, we have people in the northern part of Nigeria where they have a culture, we have east, we have west, and then sometimes what they do, that someone that's growing up in the Western world think that's bondage, and that's that's mental health,
and that's normal.
That's normal to them. They're like, what are you talking about? Last year I was in an event in a place called Preston around Manchester, and something had happened. A lady that gone there for her masters, this jackpot stuff that they were doing, they've been married for 24 years. They were in class trying to fix a date for them to meet and discuss out of class, and they say, okay, let's say, sorry, I will not be able to make it because I have to go and cook for my husband. She just said it normally, 24 years of marriage. And then the next day they called her into meeting that they reported that you are being traumatized, that you have to go, that can't he cook for himself, that you couldn't stay for that. So, as I'm telling you now, they are divorced.
Wow.
Because she's now saying, I now realize.
Something that you were okay with for years.
I now realize. So what I would say to people is, number one, define your values. And once you have defined your value, make sure you relate with people within your value system. So the first thing you'll be checking is value. And let me say this, and if you don't take anything away, take this away. Okay. When a fish falls in love with a bird, it's a useless relationship.
Fact.
Because where will you live?
Where we can't meet each other halfway.
Fishes live in the ocean, birds live outside.
So find your class.
So that's it. So once your value system is like, I love you, forget that side.
Yeah, real
Fishes
life
falling in love with a bird, you are just foolish.
No love can make that relationship thrive.
The heart wants what the heart wants. I can't deny how I feel. It's inordinate affection.
Some things are not just meant to be.
It's not meant to be. So just don't fool yourself. So once you have those values, look for people that have your value and within.
Because my pastor says something all the time. You can't be, because we understand that there are different denominations when it comes to churches, and it doesn't mean one is better than the other.
No, it doesn't.
It's just their values and what they have decided to.
You see, when the Bible says, you are just take when the Bible says, "Be not unequally yoked," we take it to mean Christians, Muslims.
No, even in the body,
but even in the church.
Yes.
MFM cannot marry Christ Embassy. If MFM marry Christ Embassy, somebody will sacrifice or compromise.
Somebody would sacrifice, and doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Don't
the culture.
Yeah,
you can't carry a girl from a church that they don't wear scarf.
Yeah,
you not say you have to start wearing scarf.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
So just make sure that you stay within your value system. Make sure that you are working and relating with people that are going to the same place you're going into. And guess what? Like I said, you're getting into a relation with someone and you're getting into a relation with their past, their present, and their future. The amazing thing is that the present version that you are in love with may expire in the next 5 years.
True.
In 10 years' time, the lady has become a mother and then she has children now and she's feeling a different
vibe.
More experienced. She's now in her 40s, she's discovered herself. Or the guy you both started out, the guy was a struggler. Now the guy has
making good money.
He's a baller, he's balling.
There's some things
and
he
then
would
the
take
guy's
again.
like, excuse me. So I say to a lot of people, I say, guys, note this: no man can ever be married to one woman.
True. You see different versions every day.
You are going to be married to at least 7 women in your lifetime, and those 7 women are in that one woman. And once you understand that, by the time the new woman comes out, that's what the Bible says when some people have entertained strangers. I did a series years ago called "The Stranger Within the Lover."
Wow.
Parts 1 to 3. When the stranger comes out, when strange behaviors, strange actions, strange demand, strange attitudes come out, you're married to someone and then you thought that you had the same values, and over a period of time the guy is okay, I want to come from the front and come from the back, and that was not the arrangement. I said, where is this idea coming from? The guy has evolved into perversion and he wants to explore, and he said, if you don't allow me to explore with you, I'll go and check it out. So by the time you are meeting a woman, you're young, the lady is young, that's first level. You're in a relationship, you have met someone because she's planning to get married to you. You are planning to get married to her.
You guys
there are things you'll be doing that, because even if you come for 3 years until you marry, you have not married. True. That's why you will know that I didn't know this one.
That's when you see true colors.
True colors. I see your true color. And then by the time you now get married to the person, the second version comes in, Mrs. And then she begins to say, so we need to change this curtain. And you're like, hello.
But you liked it before.
Like, before you go and come, they have changed furniture and say, my house, no, it's no more your house.
It's our house.
So before you know it, you're like, I didn't know. Then she begins to tell you, no, you can't do that. You're like, I can't do what? Before you know, because she's now your wife. Her destiny is so that's a new person. The day she gets pregnant, that wife is gone. She now becomes a pregnant woman. You are now married to a pregnant woman. You have never been married to a pregnant woman before. She has never been pregnant before. So two strangers are meeting each other. And that's why a lot of things begin to happen. You see, I don't understand why she didn't. Because how do you wake up your husband in the middle of the night and say you want to eat pawpaw? In the middle of the night,
fried pawpaw.
I want to eat pawpaw. Say, are you all right? But that's the reality. So you are now seeing a new person. That's when relationships go apart.
Yes.
Because they're like, no, this is not who I married. Because you are thinking of that, hourglass woman, and then the thing is growing big everywhere. It's going bad. So once she now gives birth to a child, she becomes a mother.
Yes.
Your wife
she has never been a mother before.
Never been a mother before. Now you thought you are a priority, you are no more a priority. Because most men don't know that when women tell you, I believe in family, you are not part of that family.
Wow.
Oh, family is important to me. They are talking of children, not you.
Wow. Wow.
99.99% of women put their children here, put their husband here. They will pick children above husband.
But some people will pick their husband though.
Yes.
Depending on how good the husband treats them.
No matter how good you are. That's why I said 99.99.
But sir, so which comes first? Husband or children? Because children will leave you at the end of the day.
Husband comes first, but women will choose children first. So the man should just relax. Just be good. And that's why I tell a lot of men, make sure you love your wife.
True.
Because you will suffer in old age.
Yes.
Men don't do
they wait for you for front.
Men don't do. Women, especially African women, they will endure your stupidity. They will endure your abuse. Because many of them are not empowered. So they want you to pay the bills, take care of it. They will just sit down there waiting. By the time the children are grown, they begin to push, hey, because of the future of these children, let's, they need to go abroad. The security of Nigeria, they are preparing their future.
True.
By the time the children are gone, they have left you. 6 months in London, 6 months in Canada.
And it's the mother
that goes around, and you are now left old age, no job, no nothing. They'll just look for one nurse to nurse you to hellfire.
Dr. Olumide is not called the common sense guru just because. You get why. Why. And if you're just joining the conversation, do not forget that this is Deep Waters right here on Radio 93.7. And please be a part of this conversation. The phone number to call to ask Dr. Olumide a series of questions before we wrap up the show. Come on, TikTok, time waits for no man, 0705 993 6937. 0705 993 6937. There's a message here on WhatsApp, and this person says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Henry texting from Agungi. Well, I hope I'm in context as I didn't join from the start. But when it comes to sacrifice, I think it's quite broad. It could include changing behavior to please the other party, or maybe continued financial support from just one side. My take is, if sacrificing puts my mental health and growth as a human at risk, I will cut it off. However, I understand my partner is not capable of making some sacrifices, not because she would not want to, if she has the capacity to." All right, thank you very much, Henry, from
good, but
what are your thoughts on this?
I'm good with it, but like I said, just like you said, it's broad. There are a lot of things now. Most of the time, because we are talking of relationship between a man and a woman,
yes.
Most of the time, those sacrifices that people are not willing to make for their spouse, they will make for their children.
They will make for their.
So who are we deceiving?
So why can't you just start?
How can you say my mental health, but when your child is on drugs, messing up your mental health, you don't throw the child away, but you want to throw your husband away, you want to throw your wife away?
I think it's because they don't understand that love is. You guys are one.
You don't understand.
You don't understand the concept of love.
So when you understand this thing called love, you will realize that most of what we are fighting today is because we are not ready to go the extra mile. Because most of the time, I've seen people, I say to people, pastors, doctors, and lawyers, what we know, only few people know. I've been in ministry now 35 years. By October, I'll be celebrating 35 years in ministry. And the stories I have seen, things I have heard, I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, wow. I've seen all manner. I've seen people separate for 12 years, they come back again. I've seen women endure things that I will never tell them to endure. But 4 years later, the guy turns around and I'm like, wow, if she has left, she will have missed it. I've seen men endure things that you think, and then we discover that it was just a mental health issue, because in church everything is prayer. Only to discover that what she needed was to go through a process, and then the woman is back and normal. You see a lot of women, when they go through pregnancy, they want to kill their children. They will know, but we don't. When you don't diagnose people right, you label them, and then at the end of the day, because people don't understand, they say, I can't take this, I'm out of here, I can't take this. But look, you will take it.
You will take it.
It's life. Because
another thing is, you're willing to marry someone, when it even comes to financial compromise, you are keeping your money from your partner, right? You're not being transparent as to how much you're earning, but you can sleep on the same bed with someone that can literally take your life.
Yeah. So your money,
woman that cooks for you,
your
that
money
can poison you to death.
My money is my money, and then
you can hand over your life to your partner, but you are keeping your money.
Yeah, she's feeding you every day. What if she's killing you instrumentally?
What if she's killing you?
You are eating. You don't even pray over the food because
you are keeping your money.
But you are keeping money. Then when you die,
so what
money that is just because people lack understanding. And
yes.
this issue of social media, movies, and all kinds of stories that we hear, people have heard so many bad news. The kind of people they move with. So the default setting for most people is protect yourself. Somebody out there, somebody is out there to hurt you, and that's why I said, what's your value system? And my own challenge is the fact that if you are running a traditional marriage, fine. You're running a contemporary marriage, fine. But if you're running a kingdom marriage, then do it kingdom way. Don't now try to say, let's mix everything together. No, it's going to be messed up.
All right. So because we're out of time, I just would like for you to share your last words. What do you want to tell the entire public?
What I would say is you need to understand that the day you stop learning, you start dying. Once you jump up, you're going to come down. But if you grow up, you'll stay up. So in whatever area of life you want to become successful, learn about it. Many people are married today, they've never read one book on marriage. Many people have children today, they've never read one book on parenting. So how do you expect to succeed in what you have not been prepared for? You don't manufacture the weapons of war on the battlefield. So study, learn, read books on any area you want to become successful. Train yourself, become intentional, and continue to train and train and train and learn and learn and learn, because life is a school and we never
I see
graduate.
You have books here. Do you want to
School of Money book. These are the books that have been making waves all over the world, and people have been making them out. So the School of Money book is the Bible of wealth creation, how to make, manage, and multiply your money. And then this is the latest one, how to create wealth as a career person, to deal with that balance of, salary is what they pay you to forget your dream.
Yes, sir.
And then everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, even though they don't have what it takes. And then this is the pathway to wealth. So these are just 3 of my many books, like you said.
Thank you very much, Dr. Olumide. You can follow him on social media at Olumide Emmanuel.
Olumide Emmanuel.
Okay, Olumide Emmanuel.
Olumide Emmanuel on Instagram. And Dr. Olumide Emmanuel on YouTube.
All right,
Lots
thank
of
you
videos.
everyone for being a part of this conversation. I'm sure you learned 1 or 2. I see you again next week. Thank you for being a part of the show. Have a fantastic weekend.